Welcome back to the Rodeo Wagon Podcast, brought to you by the Western Edge app and produced by Cosmic Cowboy Productions. No, maybe.
No, I think it's just a tree.
It's just a tree. Yeah, it'd be a good place for one, baby.
Yeah, I'm sure it would. I'm in amongst the woods. We're out here hog hunting. I keep
Oh,
looking at the
nice.
wrong side of the phone.
What's your deer hunting like not up there? You'd be freaking over there.
Down here, not as
Down
good as
over.
yours.
Yeah,
Not in my part of the country. We got little deer.
little deer. It's not as bad as like Florida though, is it? Or is it about the
No,
same?
it's not quite that bad. No, we kill some decent deer every once in a while.
You guys can feed yours.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's handy.
yeah, we feed corn, a little bit of protein, depending on who's there.
I say that, but heck, we pretty much feed our deer too. All the cornfields around here.
Yeah,
And
y'all got a lot more farming than we do.
hey, we don't get a fish though like you do.
Oh yeah,
That's freaking.
you've been paying attention to Drew?
I
You got him
haven't.
on Facebook?
I need to. I wear a shirt every night.
Yeah, you need to add him on Facebook. They've been slamming them.
Okay, I definitely need to do that. I want to go back up there just to freaking fish again.
Yeah,
Over
we
there.
need to go. Dude, I got bit by a big ass mosquito. Smoked me.
Yeah, you probably get a bunch of them too.
Huh? Mosquitoes?
Yeah.
Dude, what? Like living in mosquito heaven down here.
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah.
their sanctuary.
Yeah, no joke.
Yeah.
All the humidity and everything being where you're at.
Oh, dude. Right there on the Gulf. It's like a cesspool for mosquitoes.
Do you get horse flies a bunch too?
Man, we don't get them as bad. We get those deer flies bad.
I'm not even sure what a deer fly is. What the deer fly?
Kind of like a miniature horse fly on steroids though, just mean. He's like,
Miniature horse fly. So like a mini
yeah,
bucking bull that their kids are going 95 on.
yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna get all jacked up on this podcast because it was cold outside, and so I got me some freaking coffee, and I have not been drinking caffeine like at all.
Oh, dude.
So I'm about to get wild.
All right, all right. Yeah, I like how the Western Edge is. I ain't never even noticed that. It's a can, crushed can.
Yeah,
Is that
that
what that
one.
is?
Yeah, that's what that
Yeah,
is. It's a crush can. Yep.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
loud.
Here. There you go. That's a little better.
Yeah.
That's not. I mean, that's just one of the things we put it on, but that would be have your logo as just a crush can, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, all right, dude.
I need to get
Just get
because
a
we have those
Bud
koozies.
Light on the side, Coors Light on the side of that
Yeah.
thing. Get a sponsorship going here.
Oh man. Yeah, I that fishing though, that was a great time. I was honestly shocked at how much I freaking enjoyed that. And that's probably just like a small taste of what you guys do all the time.
Oh yeah, dude, we fish constantly down there. I mean, it's pretty good fishing. The summertime kind of slacks off a little bit, but
When's the
for
season
the
then?
most part, like fall and like into the winter, because our winters are so warm.
Mm-hmm.
Into like the first part of the winter before we get it like really a good cold snap, and then spring's usually pretty good to catch a bunch of fish, and then kind of falls back out into the summertime because it gets so hot.
Does it
I mean, you
matter
can still catch
like
them,
what
but
you fish? Like time of year, like what you're fishing? Or is it pretty much the same?
no, usually we were always chasing trout,
Yeah. And
but like
redfish?
you, yeah, redfish, but we mostly chase them trout.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a blast. But the redfish, man, just those suckers can fight.
Oh, dude, that redfish is fun too. And like this year, I kind of eased off back in there and started sight fishing a few of those redfish. So like you get in that shallow water in the back of those marshes, and you can see them. You can throw right to them, dude. It's so fun. We're gonna have to go back.
Yeah,
Try that.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Heck, I'll be back in June, July. We'll go maybe this fall. I'll head up there. I'm
Oh
gonna
yeah.
go to Fort Worth probably a bunch this year.
Oh yeah. To the touring pro deals, the
Yeah, it's freaking
showcases.
every Thursday. I mean, you might as well. 10,000 added.
Yeah, it pays good like a slot machine.
Yeah, especially at that time frame. You know, with all the team stuff
Yeah.
going on, it'd be a good time to go. And
Yeah, and then yeah, no doubt. ain't got all them toughs there every weekend. Shoot, they've been tough here the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the points, it's just a different deal now because the regular season, everybody wants them points
Well,
however you
and
can
like
get
I
them.
heard, like I ain't talked to anybody about it, but I heard that like they're gonna take like the winner, like the leader in that deal to the finals. He'll get a showcase, like so they kind of like made a little incentive for everybody to go. That guy's
Interesting.
gonna get an invite to the finals. I don't know that for sure, but
I mean, even if they did say it, it could change next week. So,
yeah, there's no doubt about that. There's no
I,
telling.
if there's
If
anything
they
I've
if they
learned,
don't like
don't
who's
take a
gonna
rule
make,
for
if they don't
granted.
like who's winning it, yeah, you know what I
Yeah,
mean. They don't like
yeah.
who's winning it. It's liable to change.
Who are you? No, that
Yeah,
rule we changed that a while back.
I heard that. Yeah, if it's not benefiting who they want it to, it's not. It's not their rule anymore.
Look, that there's a lot of partial truths in that.
Yeah, I wish they'd put some of them in my favor though.
Yeah, no joke. Yeah. Hey, one of these days, you never know. Who would ever thought keeping up with the Joneses would be so easy?
Yeah, exactly. No, dude, I've been on these rogues. Have you seen these?
I have
I
not.
quit dipping,
Okay.
dude. I'm on the rogues. They're those little
Like are they
nicotine
like
pouches,
oh, the pouches. Okay.
like a Zen. They're basically
Yeah, yeah,
Zen,
yeah.
but they're better.
Yeah, that's
They are.
Keith. I think he did that. I have a couple cousins that have done that and went that route. The Zen's getting really
Yeah.
popular. Hey, you
Got
need
on
to
the. Got
comment.
on the.
You need to comment on
Yeah,
that
dude.
rodeo wagon post. We're giving out that free dip can. It's a drawing. It's a freaking sick dip can. It's a Western Edge dip can.
Oh,
I don't have it on me. It'll fit that. You stick that sucker in there. It's like a $300, I don't know, $200, custom engraved dip can. It's pretty
oh,
sick.
dude, that's wild. I put
But
it on
if
my.
you win it, you can't throw it out the window.
Yeah, you gotta
Throw it in
keep
the
up with
trash
it.
can. That's an expensive replacement.
I
Uh,
heard that. No, I'm on the roads. I'm quitting the snuff. It's been a tough.
Witness no. How long have you dipped for?
Oh, I probably dipped snuff since I was probably 14 or something. So, and I'm 26 now.
Well, heck,
Pretty tough deal.
how many generations cowboy are you?
Uh, I'm too deep, I guess.
Too deep. So,
Yeah,
so your grandpa is he the one that really started that?
yeah. My grandpa
Okay.
kind of, yeah,
Heck, man.
he's kind of giving it all to us, I guess.
Talk about a man. Man, what's it?
Dude,
Tell me a little bit more about his backstory because I've not met a whole lot of guys more cowboy than your grandpa. Just
well,
straight cowboy.
see, my grandpa was grew up a farmer. His dad started a farm in northeast Arkansas up there around Newport, and they ended up being pretty big farmers and farmed most of the country up there, a lot of the country up there.
Okay.
And so that was kind of my grandpa's deal. All they did was farm and he'd break horses. They had some cows and they'd buy cows in the wintertime. And so anyways, he got to where he's riding a bunch of horses and then his dad, my great grandpa, would send him up to a horse ranch and they'd break horses I guess all winter when he
Okay.
was a kid.
Uh-huh.
And so anyways, he got to do that and then as he got older, started rodeoing a little bit. So my grandma would haul him around when he was too young to drive. But he told me when they were about, I guess, 13 or 14, him and Rob McDonald bought him a car. And so they started rodeoing in Arkansas on their own in that car. And so, anyways, I RA rodeoed and RCA rodeoed a little bit and had a little bit of success, but he didn't get to rodeo all year, because he's farming all the time. As he got older, him and his three brothers, and their dad, they had a whole lot of country farming. So, anyways, he wouldn't get to rodeo a whole lot, and then as he got older, he was doing a little bit on his own, and ended up they went to work for a guy in Devers, and that's where he was for 30 years running a ranch. And
Yeah.
one of the biggest ranches in Southeast Texas. It's about 30,000 acres, so
Dang.
that's kind of where how I got it. I grew up there on that ranch working every day, but I mean, the guy's a cowboy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's no joke. Freaking when we were over there, if he
Yeah,
wasn't in there, chatting our ears off, he was freaking out riding horses.
yeah, dude. He's something else, you know. And I mean, he roots for all of us now. He calls me. He was pumped up when you come back. But you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
he was watching. He goes, man, my TV froze up. He said I didn't get to watch Kyle. How'd he do? And I was like, oh,
You blinked.
yeah,
Took a big old
no,
drink of that
but hey,
well.
yeah, yeah. Hey, he is a character for sure. No,
Yeah.
he likes that rodeo.
Yeah, and
But no, he's a
you grew up doing that too from the time you were little,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I grew up around the farming industry and didn't really. My grandpa, he'd drag us down here in the summertime to Texas. I was actually living in Arkansas and work cows. That's all I wanted to be. That was a cowboy. After watching that guy, it's kind of hard not to want to be.
Yeah, no joke.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's
First time
something
I ever
else.
learned the word juking.
Oh, juking. Nah,
I'll never
he is a
forget it.
juker too. Don't let him lie to you. Yeah, he don't let that guy lie to you.
Yeah, he just done
He'll
some
get on
juking in
to
his
you about it.
lifetime.
He'll make fun of you, but he's just jealous. All it was. Oh man,
Oh, that
he's.
that that one morning, and your grandma, she's like, "Were they up juking last night?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I reckon."
I reckon they were. Oh man, she wants all the good details. She.
Heck, that was the trip too, because I had the van, and so we would go, and I can stay up till about 11 o'clock midnight, when we were at the bull rides and stuff, and I'd just
Oh
pass out
yeah.
in my car or in my van, and I'd wake up in the morning, look at my phone, get a text message from Dakota, be like, "All right, I guess I'm going to this address." Don't know where we're going,
Uh,
but I'm picking
don't know where
somebody
we're
up
going.
somewhere.
I was just wanting to ride. Okay, I was like, hey, Coda, I'm going with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
No, it
man.
was a good time.
Yeah, yeah, no
Yeah.
doubt. Yeah, that was a fun couple weeks because heck, we were up there. How long were we up there for at your place? At
Man, we
least a
were,
full week.
yeah, y'all were at my house for a week, but we were there for 2 weeks, dang near, because we
Yeah.
had College Station. Y'all come in for College Station, and then we stayed at the house all week, and then had, or maybe 2 weeks. Maybe we were there 2 weeks because Corpus was right after that, the finals.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
so we had Fort Worth and then what did we go to?
Oh yeah, I forgot about yeah.
Yeah.
So we were there for a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Fort Worth, and then um College Station, and
Yeah.
then the finals. Yeah,
Yeah. And that was second time I think I've rode at College Station. That's been a good bull ride that
it's
they put
gone
on
now.
there. Is it gone now?
Yeah, that was it. That was last year. Yeah.
You never know too, and it
No, that
doesn't
was
even
probably
always matter how good of a bull ride is. I remember they did Baltimore, Maryland every year, and that sucker would sell out. Great freaking bull ride. They had the Guinness factory right there, and go tour around that, and freaking,
I
learn a
bet you were
bit.
fired up.
Oh man, me and Keith, dude, that was the trip. We want to go to Ireland next. That's the next stop. But just learning the history behind Guinness and brewing beer and all of that. Cool.
It's a little too dark for me.
Interesting fact.
So,
Interesting fact. It's very possible that the Guinness beer actually came out of the monasteries back in the day. So back in those
really?
days, like yeah, back a long time ago, monasteries kind of had control over all alcohol consumption, and so it's very possible that Guinness actually came out of that because you also had so within Guinness you had the brewers that eventually, obviously built Guinness beer to what it was, and the other side were like theologians, like Os Guinness and stuff like that. Just interesting fact.
You've been doing your research.
I've
What you've
done
been
it.
doing?
Yeah.
You
Yep. There's a book
you got
called a Search for God in Guinness. It's a good one.
yeah.
Good read. Yeah.
That's holy water. I can't drink it. I'm unholy because I
Yeah.
tried it that night you had it. I said, "Oh my gosh, how do you drink that?"
Oh man. Yeah, it's definitely dark beer, that's for sure. It's not the same as that light beer that you guys drink.
Yeah, I can drink way more than light beers, and you can drink them Guinnesses.
True. That's a
Genius, they're
fact.
geniuses, is what they are, because you can't hardly drink them.
They're made to sip on.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy, he knew what he was doing when he made that. He was a one or two beer guy. He was going to bed.
The full meal. They used to give out during
Yeah.
like when it was like during like the days when like they had over here they had the depression and over there they had a bunch of disease and they would give everybody that worked there 2 beers a day.
That's what they wanted.
It's probably more than what
Yeah,
their paycheck was worth.
I guarantee it.
But
No. So when are you gonna be healed up?
June, July, probably June I'll come back. In July I'll probably start kind of picking it up and going hard again, Take it. It'll
Yeah.
be about a year off. June to June was what it'll be because I snapped my ankle in two and was out for 4 or 5 months, and then second bull back was my shoulder. So you just got it out of the way. I'm good for freaking few years.
Yeah. You got them all out of the way real quick.
Real quick. That was number 9. So I don't know if I want to do 10 or not. Maybe something small, like break my nose or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Get my
That's
nose
pretty easy to
fixed.
get done.
Either, yeah.
Especially for a guy like me. I just run my mouth too much. Somebody will do it for me.
Yeah. Hey, if you're gonna hit me this side. That way it'll
Yeah.
readjust that sucker.
Yeah, I'm the same way. When I look pretty straight looking on at you, but when I turn my head, I got this crooked thing going on. They
Yeah.
can realize how many times it's been broke.
I can't hardly breathe out of it, so sometimes I'll like take it and pull my freaking face over and open up that nostril and get
Oh
in
yeah,
fresh air.
yeah. I
And
hear you.
everybody asked me if I did it freaking bull riding, and I wish I could say I did. It'd be cooler, but I wasn't. It was just freaking fighting in college.
Yep.
Just at the bunkhouse,
That's usually
everybody's
what does
around.
it.
What do? You fight, because that's what you do when you're
Yeah,
in college and there's nothing to do.
that's exactly right. I'm 26 years old and I'm still liable to just get riled up.
Yeah, yep, yeah. I'll tell you what, going with you in Dakota, you got to be on the edge of your seat all
You
time. You
gotta be
never
on your
know.
toes. Yeah, that's right. You gotta be on your toes. You never know when the band's not gonna be there.
That's right.
Nothing like a good tow company. I was telling that story the other day. I'll never laugh so hard in my life. I was like, man, poor old Kyle. He's just trying to be a good Samaritan and go back home, go to bed. And the damn van got towed.
Yeah. Oh man, Dakota's like, yeah, you can park there. So we pulled in there. I parked there, and it was like I don't know what time. I don't know what time. I was being good. I'm like Dakota. Well, Dakota wasn't drinking, so
Yeah.
nobody's drinking. Me and Dakota are just hanging out. All of these people, like in College Station. That was a freaking introduction, man. I had never been to a university, you know, party
Oh
house like
yeah.
that. And it was nuts to me and Dakota just sitting there, sober, just looking at all these people, and you just can see the progression, right? And
I
then
heard that.
it's closing time, we're gonna go back. I'm like, okay, I can take a bunch of people home. So I had like what 4 or 5 people that were gonna go with me. And we
Yeah,
walked
you
down
did.
there and van's gone.
I was dying laughing. Dakota called me. He's like, hey, they got the van. I was like, oh no. What was that?
That was one of the first. That's like I just got that van too. The first weekend or second weekend I got that van, we drove through a freaking blizzard from freaking was it Albuquerque?
Sioux Falls,
Albuquerque?
wasn't it?
No, Sioux Falls to
Yeah.
where in Wyoming?
Casper.
Casper. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they said they shut everything down and I didn't want to freaking test it at all. So we went until the highway was shut down. We went the back way. And the entire time I was going 5 miles an hour and my van's just like sliding sideways from the wind blowing because of ice.
Yeah, I remember leaving Sioux Falls that night and I was pissed and I was driving. I was like, I gotta drive to Casper. I fell off. I'm hammering on it. And it's like coming that blizzard, and I'm Southeast Texas. I ain't thinking anything of it. I'm running 85 mile an hour down the highway, just running past everybody. I was like, what is everybody driving so slow up here for? I touched the brakes and my truck didn't even check up. I was like, oh shit. I was like, I gotta slow down. I made it though. Yeah, I remember y'all got there just a little bit before I did,
Yeah.
Casper.
Yeah, they didn't want to, because, well, Zane and Dakota, were up again in freaking Sioux Falls, and I had fallen off, and so I wasn't in, but I was going back because we traveled together. So I was like, there ain't no way I'm not gonna get to Casper at this point. Like
Yeah.
where I was in the standings and stuff, I'm like, there ain't no way I'm not gonna be at Casper. So we got it, and Zane's like, man, we probably should pull over. And I'm like, I don't know. And then we passed like freaking five different vehicles in the ditch. And then we come to an exit and it was closed. Like the road was closed, the highway was. And he's like, this would be a good place. We should probably pull over. And I said, Dakota, what do you think? And he's like, Bud, whatever you want to do. So I'm like, all right, well, I got a detour
I'm
to a
pushing it.
back road. So we're heading that way. And
I
I
heard that,
drove all night long. Uh,
dude. Yeah, I remember I got I stayed the night with a buddy in round uh where there we are. I about lost you. But I stayed the night with a buddy there in Springfield, South Dakota. And when I woke up the next morning, it wasn't bad, and I was like, "Oh, thank God!"
yeah, that
I
was really
still had to,
stupid, because we
yeah,
drove
uh,
and then the next day the roads were all cleared, highway, people were going like 85, 90 on the interstate, and we took back roads all night long.
yeah. They like blew through, and then was like 55 the next day, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, this is great." Got a little bit of sleep. No, that was a long weekend for me. I drove. I guess I went to Fort Worth Thursday night too. So I went Fort
Ooh.
Worth, Sioux Falls, to Casper in 3 days, and I was like, and then got knocked out in Casper.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
got cold clocked in Casper. Ended up staying at the beacon, sneaking at the beacon that night. I was like, I can't do anything, guys. I'm tried to drink a beer. I felt like I was gonna throw up. I was like, I'm in bad shape. Maybe I do have a concussion. Took me 45
Yeah.
minutes to come to back here. No, it was a
Yeah.
long weekend for me.
Well, I drove all night because the van was so brand new. I'm like, I'm not letting anybody else drive. So I drove. I think I let Dakota drive a couple hours, like once daybreak hit, and it was, the next day. Um,
Uh,
but I was freaking. So then I didn't get much sleep because we went over to Joe Anderson. He had a hotel, and so we went in there to sleep. And I'm not one that can take a nap. So if I don't sleep at night, I'm not sleeping. And
yeah.
so I didn't get much sleep. Dakota, he'll sleep freaking any time of day, anytime. And if you don't tell him to drive, he will sleep the entire time.
Oh, I'm the same
Um,
way.
so they got plenty of sleep. I didn't get any sleep. I was the only one to strap one in Casper. But then I'm like, you know what? They need sleep for tomorrow night. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drive them to Albuquerque. So I drove all night again back to Albuquerque because the next day was an early perf because it was a Sunday at Albuquerque, not
Yeah.
Albuquerque, freaking Sioux
Sioux
Falls.
Falls.
So we went all the way back there. I drove all night long. I was so whipped when I got back home.
I bet. And then yeah, y'all had shoot. Yeah, y'all had about the same amount. I had a little bit farther to go on the way home, but I
Yeah.
stopped, detoured.
Yeah.
I was beat up. I was sore. I wanted to lay down for a little while, stay with my brother for a little while.
We hit the road, which wasn't bad with the van. You can kind of sleep in the back. So I was able to get a little bit of sleep on the way back home. But man, it's crazy how much time you spend on the road.
I don't know. When you start driving, dude, I mean, it's nothing. I mean, like when you like sit down at the end of the year and think about like where you've been, how many hours it took you to get there, and like you're like, gosh. And you only think like when you add something on, like when you're going somewhere, you only add in the time it takes you to get there. You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna add in the time that it takes to get somewhere else and then go back and then come back around and go back home when you've done made this detour back to the house. You know, like you don't add any of that time in. You just
No.
add it's like, oh, it's 14 hours to get there. That's all that matters. 14 hours there. Like you don't think about anything else. Like it's 14 hours there. We're gonna get on that night and turn around and leave and come back home. So it's really like we haven't been asleep,
Yeah,
time it's
no
all
joke.
said and done.
And me and Keith were calculating last year from January to May, we drove 50,000 miles. And that's just like you're saying, that's just freaking where we left to the destination and back. That's not even counting who knows how many miles on detour where we just freaking taking back roads, probably took another, 6 hours.
Yeah. Say like this year when I went to Deadwood, I'd never seen Mount Rushmore or anything like that, and I like peeled through there and went and looked at them. I was like, man, I'm like, that's like 3 hours out of the way. Then I'm over here just piddling around looking at mountains,
And
which it
goats.
was neat. It was neat,
Yeah.
I was like riding through the country looking at it, but I was like, it's just you don't take it, I guess you take it for granted when you do it. You
Yeah.
don't realize it.
Well, I even every time I go through there, I stop. And the last time me and Keith went through there, Keith is a good guy because I probably would have been dead if we would have went through with what I wanted to do. We were climbing up all of those freaking hills that are just sandy, rocky, just falling gravel, and I
Oh
wanted to go
yeah,
to the very top. And we didn't get very far up, and Keith is just like, "Nope, I'm not doing it." And
I ain't
I'm
going.
like, I talked and talked and talked to try to get him to do it, and he's just like, I'm not doing it. And so on the way back down, I just about ate crap, and I'm like, dang, if I would have happened up at the very top, I would have came all the way down.
Yeah, I hear you. Look like that guy and that dog when they're skiing, just doo 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 doo. Oh man.
But yeah, it's hard not to. The only place I haven't stopped and like detoured to go visit, and I want to do it with my family at the Grand Canyons. And actually
Oh yeah.
going through the Grand Canyon. I've went past there a billion times, but I've never taken the detour to actually go into the canyons and stuff.
Yeah, I think that'd be neat. I hadn't either. I've
That's
I've flown over it a bunch.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen it from the sky,
Yeah.
and
No, but
I didn't fly very much last year. I we don't fly a lot throughout the years.
oh, I know y'all don't.
We drive.
I watched y'all. Yeah, y'all were banning it last year. I was,
That's pretty much been our, the my entire career. It's been yeah, a lot of times the ones that are like, like Bangor, Maine and stuff like that, I would like to fly to, but then it's always somebody that's hauling like Stu or something that's like, hey, come with me. And then, we're like, yeah, we
yeah.
better do that. We're gonna be a good guy, help him drive,
Oh, oh
help him out as much
shit.
as possible. Hey there, folks. I want to tell you about my favorite cowboy hat brand, Sombrero Brands. As a professional bull rider, I know how important it is to have a hat that not only looks good, but can withstand the toughest rides out there. And that's exactly what Sombrero Brands delivers. Their hats are custom fitted and shaped to perfection, with a level of attention to detail that's hard to find these days. But what really sets Sombrero Brands apart is the fact that they're a family owned and operated business. Mark and Kendall Holler, the owners, and their daughter Sarah, who's only 13 but already a hat making prodigy, are all passionate about their craft. They know what it takes to make a cowboy hat that can stand up to anything the rodeo circuit can throw at it. And get this, the founder's grandfather, Polly Holler, was born and raised at South Camp on the Four Sixes Ranch. These folks have got cowboy blood running through their veins, and it shows in every hat they make. That's why I'm proud to have Sombrero Brands as a major sponsor for my podcast, the Rodeo Wagon Podcast. So if you're in the market for a hat that's tough enough to handle anything the rodeo throws at it, give Sombrero Brands a try. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. What's up, everybody? I'm thrilled to announce a fantastic partnership between the Rodeo Wagon Podcast and Rodeo Life Official. Rodeo Life isn't just a coffee brand, it's a veteran-owned business that epitomizes the principles of hard work, dedication, and perseverance in all their products. As an avid consumer of Rodeo Life coffee, I am proud to align myself with a company that mirrors my values and resonates with our audience. Supporting this veteran-owned business is not only a testament to our shared ethos, but also a way to give back to those who have served our country. This partnership promises exciting content, collaborations, and surprises for all our listeners and the rodeo community. You can anticipate special episodes featuring the Rodeo Life experts and even a chance to win some Rodeo Life merchandise. We look forward to this journey with Rodeo Life and the enriching experience it will bring our audience. Join us as we venture into this partnership, fueled by a passion for rodeo and a great cup of Rodeo Life coffee. Stay tuned for more exciting updates and the amazing things to come from the Rodeo Wagon Podcast and Rodeo Life Official. Make sure you go to rodeolifeofficial.com and check out all their sweet merch. Are you searching for that perfect statement? Look no further than Bluegrass Engraving, where creativity meets craftsmanship. Their specialty lies in creating custom buckles and dip cans, but that's not all. They redefine elegance with an exquisite line of jewelry, and for those who appreciate a little flair, check out their engraved guns collection. At Bluegrass Engraving, they don't just create products, they craft experiences. Visit Bluegrass Engraving today and let them turn your visions into engraved realities. bluegrass engraving, where artistry meets authenticity. But then those long
Yeah.
drives, that I would generally fly. It tends to be somebody, it's hauling or something, and you can help them out. But outside of that, if I'm within freaking 16 hours on a Saturday night, I can be home Sunday morning, and everybody else can't even fly out until Sunday morning.
Sunday
So
morning. Yeah.
now, am
I'm
I
still,
am I
I'd
useless when
rather
I
take
get
that
home?
flight.
Probably.
Yeah, I know I am. I'm going straight to the couch. I'll take a shower and then I'm laying down and I ain't doing nothing for the rest of the day. And then I'll feel bad about it about 4 o'clock. I'll be like, I haven't done anything today.
Yeah, yeah, no joke. Man, what was it? One thing I never did. So, like high school rodeoing and all of that stuff. You were pretty deep into all of that growing up, weren't you? You went with
Yeah,
Boudreaux and competed with all of those guys, right?
yeah, we had Boudreaux. I mean, there's been a lot of Keyshawn rodeoed with us. I mean, Ezekiel rodeoed with us. I mean, there's a lot of them toughs that come out of the Texas High School Rodeo Association. I mean, Andrew Albedrez,
Oh,
Cooper,
nice. Yeah.
yeah, Cooper High School Rodeo. I mean, yeah, I'm just about anybody from Texas that is going right now, high school rodeo. You know what I mean? I mean, there's been a lot of toughs going that come up out of that high school rodeo deal. I mean, it's pretty neat to watch. Going back and like thinking about it. And looking at it. Dude, what am I? Okay, there we go. But like, I mean, seeing these guys that come up through those levels and have, I mean, Cody Teal, high school rodeo, they all. I mean, like, I'm telling you guys that just come out of like we got 10 regions. And like Cody Teal, Cooper, Ezekiel, Keyshawn. Trying to think who else come out of Region 5. That was just all our region over there, East Texas region. I mean, but 2 world champions, and I mean,
Yeah.
pretty neat. And then you got Boudreaux High School Rodeo and
What was that?
TYBR.
What was that like versus, when you kind of broke out of high school? Or were you kind
I
of
mean,
doing everything in high school anyway?
yeah, to a sense, like nothing really. It was kind of neat because like you'd been around those guys, you know, your entire rodeo career, and even like, some of the older guys that were already you know, prolonged in their career, like Cooper and Cody. I mean, you kind of knew somebody when you got there. You didn't just show
Mhm.
up new kid on the block, and then
Right.
and Trey, Trey Benton. I mean, he high school rodeoed. I mean, kind of knew Trey already. I mean, it's neat to know these people, like, so it wasn't just like you know, just a culture shock to you completely.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So when I first I guess I had Mason Lowe, and that was the
Yeah.
person that I knew, and then that was about it, honestly, for, a long time. I mean, because I guess Luke, he came, but I didn't really know Luke. I knew Luke a little bit when I moved to Springfield, and, I met him, and heck, I'll tell you a good story. So the Bass Pro, this was one of the first times I probably met Luke. Kevin Gross was down in Ridgedale, and that's down by where Luke was. So, kind of him and Dusty LeBess. I met Dusty at the practice pen and stuff. But they did a Bass Pro did a thing for, I guess they were doing at the time, it was like a golf tournament, a celebrity golf tournament. And after it was over, they had this big fancy dinner and everything. Well, they let all of the bull riders go to this dinner with all of these golfers and all
Yeah.
these celebrities, and it was open bar. And man
Oh,
alive, you
I
want to
guarantee
talk
it was a
about
good time.
they 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 sent us away. Whatever time of night it was when Luke's like, "All right, guys, it's time to close ship," and I don't think they ever did that again. Never
Oh,
again.
I guarantee it. They probably didn't know what they were getting themselves into. I guarantee that.
But
But
there wasn't a whole lot out of Missouri. They since there's been a lot more. Like obviously Denton Fugate. On the PRCA side, you have Creek and Denton and a handful of more guys coming up and everything. And then the PBR side, you have
yeah,
a handful of guys that are coming up but we didn't quite. It wasn't quite like Texas, where Everybody's got that. I don't think high school rodeo and just bull riding in general wasn't that big. More redneck cowboy in Missouri,
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
cowboy
I hear you.
cowboy like
I hear you.
Texas.
Yeah. No, I mean, like, yeah, we're pretty blessed down here where I'm at to have so many people, so many people that like go, you know what I mean? And I mean, take care of you and want you to do good, that'll help you if you want to do good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And another thing where we're from, I don't know how Missouri is, but you can walk across the street and get on a bucking bull if you want to, you know what I mean?
I got to drive
Like,
right now. If I want to go to a practice pen, I'm about probably 2.5 hours from the nearest one.
yeah,
Out
see,
no, maybe a little. Okay, so, um, uh, Bob's a little closer. I think he's an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So he'd probably be the closest one to me, and he's got some practice bulls. But outside of that, it's about from here. But now, when I was in Springfield, I wasn't. It was pretty similar. And not across the street. It was more like Joe was not very far, maybe 30 minutes. I was probably 30, 45 minutes from practice pins when I was in Springfield. But that's more southern Missouri, so that's kind of on Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, right there. That
yeah,
that little triangle's not bad. But like where I'm from now, where I grew up near St. Louis, there was not a whole lot.
yeah, I hear you, yeah. No, I didn't. But when I was in Arkansas, like, I mean, Scott was probably the closest guy that had any bucking bulls, and then he was like 30 minutes from Scott Burris
Burris?
was,
Yep.
yeah, from where I
I'd won a
live.
lot of money on his bulls.
I have now. I didn't then. He used to wreck me out when I was a little kid.
That was the thing, man. Back then, it
Yeah.
was like I wouldn't mind getting on Scott's bulls because I knew if you stayed on, you were about to win a pile, and you may
Yeah.
or probably would be hooked.
Yeah. He but nowadays I don't
A
mind
little
drawing with
different.
Scots. I kind of get
Yeah.
tickled.
Yeah, he's got a
And
good chin.
then there was a few people up around Ash Flat and up in that part of the hills there. But once I moved to Texas, I mean, I mean, like everybody was a bull rider. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, well, this is how it is down here, huh? I just thought I was a bull rider when I got down here. I was like, oh man, these guys. I was like watching Boudreaux and them. Like when I first got down here, I mean, like this guy didn't fall off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh wow, these kids are rank.
When I started, I went. Brian Worthington had a deal, and I went to. It was my first school I ever went to, and a guy named uh Blake Whipple, or Eddie Whipple, sorry, Eddie Whipple. Kind of took me under my wing. But like when I went to that practice pen, it was that first school and practice pens was just me and a bunch of Amish boys, and
Oh
nobody
yeah,
really stayed on. But you better held on because them Amish boys are tough. And so if you were gonna freaking go with them, or be around them, you better be as tough as they were.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Fresh out of the community and freaking they were willing to risk it all.
I like it. I like it.
I took one of my buddies from high school, and I took him to that school we went to. I'd been on like 10 head, and he hadn't been on any. We went there, and he about got his ball stepped on. I mean, it was close, and he said that's it.
Oh,
So he didn't go. He didn't go any further in that journey.
I can see where that could be a deal breaker there.
Yeah, especially at your first time, first, second time, you're
Yeah,
like, I don't know that this sport's for me.
yeah, I heard that. He was like,
Dude, I almost got my junk stepped on at finals and didn't even
really?
know it. Yep. Well, that that
I got a bind at finals
that that
at the
la-
finals
that
this year.
second bull I got on freaking crossover or whatever, and I held on to the very end, and I did land right there, and he came down. And if you look at the video, you would have swore that he just stomped me out. I don't know how he
Yeah.
did it. It's so close on the video. Like,
No, at the velocity finals this year, shoot, the first one I get on is that Brennel, kind of steps ahead into my hand, and my rope half hitched around my arm, and I was hung up underneath this sucker, and he was just both sides of me, just stomping. I don't know how I come out of there without it. I didn't even have a scratch on me. I was like, oh my god. Dusty's like, oh, you're supposed to let go. I was like,
yeah.
I thought I did. I mean, you could have fooled me. I couldn't get away from him.
Heck anymore, as much rosin as we put on our ropes nowadays, that's a different deal altogether.
Dude, I'm telling you. You got that never let go on there. That's what
Yeah,
you want, though. That's
you
what
get
you
in a
want.
bind, it's a real bind.
Yeah. But I mean, you might as well be there.
Yeah, no joke. Because hey, there's been plenty of times where that bind took me to my fingertips, and I rode him for freaking 5 seconds. You know.
It's one of those where you start breathing really, really.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You
getting
never
close,
know
boys.
too.
It's getting
You're
close.
in that spot where
Yeah.
you're like, you literally don't know when that sucker's gonna pop.
Yeah. You start trying to ride so perfect. That's
Yeah,
usually what bucks you off. You quit doing what you're doing and trying to ride
yeah,
perfect, waiting on you're trying to keep your hand in there.
yeah.
No.
That's no joke. I feel like I got hung up. I don't know. I got lanky arms, and so it's a little bit. I think there's more tension, so I don't get hung up quite as much. I think as a lot of people do. Early on, I did, but just because I
Maybe.
wouldn't let go, like ever, even when I was hung up.
I feel like when I do hang up, it's in a weird, like with a Brazilian, it puts me in a weird spot. And usually it's just hanging on to me. It's not really hanging up. So,
Yeah, yeah. I probably agree on that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Not sincerely, like not a good hang up.
yeah. Right.
I've been watching like we've been bucking bulls for these kids, and I've been seeing some good hang ups. I'm like,
Good.
these guys are hanging and
Yeah.
dragging. I'm giving them a good old open your hand, open your hand. I was like, I've been there. You can't open it, but I'll tell you to open it.
Oh yeah, no joke.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah. What is it? I remember one of the times when I first was going and I got freaking hung up bad, and he got so bad that eventually I'm just like freaking stop me, just stop me. I'm done with this. I can't stay on my
I
feet.
did. Hey,
And he did too, and my hand came out, and I was like, thank goodness.
that's what my grandpa always told me. He's like, don't worry about it if you get hung up. He said it's kind of like a bridle rein dragging. He said if it'll step on you and jerk you loose here in a minute,
Yeah.
break you loose. I said I appreciate that. That was wise words there.
What words there? Yeah. Although I had a I was talking to you the other day. You were the one that mentioned it with all the freaking ropes that they got on these bucking bulls nowadays and these
Oh,
halters.
dude,
It is amazing that nobody's got their spur hung in one of them halters.
dude, I'm telling you, when it happens, it's gonna be a
It's
wreck
gonna be
because
bad.
there's no good way to unhang somebody.
Hey, it's just a good thing that they did mitigate to a certain degree the upshanks like Mike Lee was pulling out, because
Oh
imagine
yeah.
that sucker getting stuck in a halter.
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do about getting somebody loose. I guess
Yeah.
open the let out gate and
Yeah.
drag you in there.
Pull a knife out and just start cutting the bull's face. I don't know, like, how do you
Yeah,
cut a halter? They don't have like special scissors.
yeah. I mean, but like, I mean, you talk about a flank. At least somebody can line him out. You
Yeah.
hang in a flank, somebody lines him out. You're dragging. They can get back there and cut you loose. Or if you hang your tail, you're probably going to be behind him.
Yeah.
And you're on a halter. You hang that halter. You're in
Ooh.
the you're up there.
And
There's no getting away from it. I mean,
and it's
like,
gonna be your feet. So where is your body gonna be at when you're hanging?
yeah, I know exactly where it's going to be. It's going to be right underneath him. I don't know if it's going to be front paws or back paws, but something's getting you. You know what I mean? I mean, you're getting all of it.
Dude, that's gonna be your back, your neck, your face. Somebody's gonna die, honestly. How is that
It's good.
even
Yeah.
legal? I want to know, how is it legal that these bulls can have halters on? Because if you get a spur caught in there, the chance of death probably goes way up.
I guarantee you. I don't think that I mean, I don't know. I don't know what it's going to do to you, but I know it's not going to be good.
We
I
laugh, but we're the ones that they got to get on them. So I feel
Yeah,
like
I know.
we,
I'm
out of
so
anybody, can chuckle a little bit about
Well,
this.
somebody showed up to the bull team deal. Like you show up to a bull team. He showed up to a bull team event the other night. I can't remember where it was at. Maybe Cedar Park, and all three of them had halters on them. And I was like, dude. I mean, are they that bad in the bucking chute? I mean, what is the halter for? Are you gonna load him here in a minute? Won't you just walk him up here? You got him haltered. I was like, dude, come on.
It's
And
not like
all
Mexican
three of
halters
them.
either. It's not like
No,
Mexican halters where, yeah, they do freaking tie them up and they've gentled them down enough at least.
yeah, no. This dude, he needed it.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
and that's
let's go
it's
back to the
crazy.
nose ring. Let's go back to the nose ring.
Well, yeah, it's a nose ring. No joke.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
I
works.
remember one of the first ones I got pro rodeos I entered. I got on one that had him tied in there with a nose ring and a piece of hay string. I was like 18, dude. I was sweating, dude. I was back here sweating. I was panicking. I was like, is he that bad? He was too. He needed it. He
He
did
needed
need
it.
it.
I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, though, you freaking pull on that nose ring, you tie that off, that
No, he'd
sucker's
settle
not,
down in
he's
there.
standing still.
Yeah.
And for
I'd much
everybody
rather him
that's
have a
wondering,
nose
well, what
ring.
if you get a spur caught in the nose ring? I'll tell you what will happen. It'll rip it out of his mouth.
Yeah, his nose. It'll come out of his nose.
It will come out of his
This
nose.
halter, I'm gonna be a beer can tied to a rope's what I'm gonna look like. Crushed.
He
Oh
should be
man.
just
Yeah. No,
grateful that they're not eating him, that he's still alive.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that deal kind of panics me a little bit. I don't
Yeah.
if I can't get out on him, I mean I get out on pretty well everything, and if I can't get out on him without the 8 ropes, then he doesn't need to be there anyway.
And yeah, yeah, no joke. And you're tying so many of those. The problem is you can't let them all go at the same time. You can't do that. There's no
No, I
system
mean
that's
like
going to release all these ropes at perfect
we
timing.
got 4 guys up here working ropes. So we got one guy on his head, one guy got one tied over his back, and then they got one tied over his hips, like and flanking too. Like I'm like, and then we got him tailed out. Okay, all right. Takes 6 people to get out on him.
Is Andrew, what was that bull that Berger had raised and they took him to Sacramento? And they had
Dude,
they had him a neck rope, they had the freaking halter on him tied up to the front, they had the freaking flank on him, they had the hip tied in. And
oh,
Chad's
this
like, "Is he always like this?" And he was like, "Yep, this is him every time."
I just like, hey,
You'll be 90 on him if they can open the gate, and they didn't that
yeah.
day. So
I mean, it just makes you want to get in there and let's just see how bad he is. Let me
no,
run my feet in
yeah.
him a little bit. You know?
I don't. You know what's crazy though? I don't mind them freaking bucking in there and doing that as long as they're freaking if they're leaning that sucks. But you know they're leaning hard. That's one thing. But if they're freaking, you can get a little bit of timing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't mind you tying one
Yeah.
over his back. If he
Yeah.
tries to flip over in there or
Right.
something. But we
Yeah,
don't
that's
need
not
one
bad.
over his
That
hips
that
and
doesn't really impact as much of them leaving so much.
no, because you can
As
get away from it.
yeah, you tie their
Yeah.
neck over and their hip
Nah, I
over.
don't
Like
like that.
what
I don't
in the
like that.
world?
No, I ain't in on that jazz. That ain't me. I'll tell them too. I
Yeah.
don't need it. I
And
don't need
then
it. You could.
and then a lot of times they're tied in like that, and the latch is already popped, because they have the
Oh,
freaking.
dude.
It's like
Yeah, and then he's sitting in there. He's sitting in there, got this Paul's gates already open. Because they're slinging it. They're getting it out of the way because they done cussed the latch man. 20 times tonight to get it out of his way. So then he just slings it open, and we're standing here in the wide open, wondering, well, all right, let's go.
let's go.
you know, shoot, they kind of screw themselves sometimes. He's gonna hip himself
Yeah, no joke.
9 times out of 10.
Yeah, one time I got on one and the guy freaking accidentally tied it off to the side and it was the flank rope. And so that bull came out and just freaking did come to a halt, freaking snapped that flank rope. I rode him to
Dude,
7 seconds and I knew something was freaking way off. And I asked for a reride and he's like, "Nope, you tried him." I'm like, the
I,
freaking flank rope split in half over in the buck and shoot. Nope, you tried
I
him.
would tell him I'm not wired to quit. Yeah, no, they. I don't. Yeah, same thing happened to me in Fargo last year. And I got on some black ball face bull, and they're like, "Oh, he's got to have a neck rope in here. Got to have a neck rope." They had him tied off in the to the back side of the chute. This so much they open the gate, and I mean it is open, wide open for a long time, and then they turn the rope loose, and I'm like he wouldn't leave. Like they had it loose, but he wouldn't leave, and like till they cleared it off his neck. And like they clear it off his neck, and dude, this thing hips himself. I thought he's gonna. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I'm about to get whipped down. But no, I ended up working out. I ended up getting a re-ride, but I mean, they give me a re-ride, but I was like, I told him I didn't need the neck rope. I get out on him.
Yeah,
Obviously, he needed the neck rope to buck me off. I think that's what it was.
that's what it was.
So
Yeah.
it's what I'm telling myself, anyways. Uh,
Yeah, I don't. That's a. that's a wild thing. Them getting into the whole rope game, which part of it that you can't have hot shots. You're not allowed to spur the bulls at all in the chutes.
Yeah,
It's illegal. If you
yeah,
pull up your freaking boot and give one the business in the neck, you're probably getting fined.
yeah. I get where they're coming from, but I don't think we need to use sick ropes. I think you need to take him at the house and
Yeah.
put him in the bucket chute and sit on him. And if you're too fat to do it, or you can't hire somebody to do it.
Yeah, that ain't no joke.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, put your
I
ropes
don't
on
know
him
who
at the
came up
house.
with the halter. The halter, that's the biggest thing that's kind of sketchy is the halter.
I don't like the halter
The halter's probably the
at
big. I
all.
mean, all the other ropes can obviously. If there's four ropes slinging around, it's very possible one could grab a hold of you.
Well, they hung Wyatt last year at the finals, at the
Oh,
PBR final on that kidnapper.
yeah, yep. And that's
Yeah,
the bull.
hung his
That's the
free
bull
arm.
Andrew got on. That is the one.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. He does take a lot of ropes.
He takes a lot of
But he's
rope.
got the halter. Yeah, he
Yeah,
takes a lot of ropes.
he's a sweet bull. If you get out on him, he does
Yeah,
the business. But
I bet Wyatt thinks he's real sweet if you don't get roped off of him.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah,
don't get
yeah,
Yeah, that's freaking. This year's good. This year they're doing something totally different with the finals, like a progressive, like
yeah. It's like I think it's 3 weekends.
3 weekend, and like you can get like cut. I don't know how that's all working.
Yeah,
Is that how
I
it used
read
to
it.
be? Is it like they? I think they
No,
said something. No, okay. I thought they said something about maybe that's like it used to be similar to that back when they first started or something.
oh, I don't know.
I don't either. I don't
Could have been.
remember.
Who knows? They could have made that rule up. Said it
Yeah,
happened back in the day.
yeah, yeah. Anymore, who's really gonna do the due diligence to find out?
Yeah, I'm telling you. But
It reminds me of the campaign, the movie,
yeah,
The Campaign.
exactly. I do like that movie. So
Oh, it's a
welcome to the
classic.
show.
Welcome to the show. Yeah, Mexican Ferris wheel workers is this nation's backbone.
His nation's back though. Yeah, that's a good movie.
Oh,
Anything
yeah,
with Will Ferrell in it's pretty funny.
yeah, he's pretty freaking good. And there's always a bunch of partial truths. I still think maybe my favorite like set of movies, is Anchorman and Anchorman 2. As
Oh,
far
I
as
do. I get down, and they've been on Netflix here lately, and I've been watching.
yeah.
I've been watching.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
went away from TV, so all we have is the apps and stuff now.
yeah.
So
I'm pretty. I'm the same way at the house, but I've been staying up here with Boudreaux. He's got directs. We've been watching
oh,
Cowboy Channel.
yeah. Yeah,
But,
I got Pluto. I haven't watched the any of the CBS ones in a good minute because I don't have the direct TV. So
oh yeah, yeah. I bet. Pluto is awesome though.
yeah, yeah, there's a lot on Pluto.
I
That's
mean,
one
really. I
thing.
mean, like if you get to watching, like I mean, like for free.
Yep,
I mean, it's for free.
it's for
You get
free.
all that for
Yeah.
free.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But,
But unfortunately, 95% of the time Disney Plus is on.
oh yeah, I feel that, and it's probably Buzz Lightyear. I have moved to planes. We can get
You
some planes on there. Every once in a while, I'll talk him into watching planes.
He's got yeah, when he so in the mornings it's always Mickey Mouse, and then there for a minute he was heavy down the Moana and freaking Frozen trail, and that was a struggle. But he's getting into Spider-Man, and I'm trying to dip in him to some Ninja Turtles, and kind of go that route.
Oh
Although it's
yeah,
not great
you're
for a
trying to
little boy
broaden the
that wants to
horizons here a little bit.
destroy everything. But
Yeah, no, I hear you.
yeah, the other
I
day.
tried to get mine to watch Spirit because he likes
Oh
horses, but
yeah, I haven't tried
he's
that
not.
yet.
He is not a big Spirit fan. It's one
Yeah.
of my favorites.
I think some of those films, the older ones, they must know quality because I feel like he doesn't quite get into the Tom and Jerry and some of the
Yeah,
older films.
I maybe you're right. I hadn't thought about that.
When we were kids, I mean, that was the cutting edge.
Yeah, that was it.
That was as clear as you could ever get.
They don't like Tom and Jerry. I'm like, how can you not like Tom and Jerry? I still like Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, no joke. but he'll watch freaking Booba, and they don't make noise. I didn't even know this. It'd been on so many times, and Kelly's like, "I hate this one." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "They don't even talk." I'm like, "Really?" I'm like, "I love Tom and Jerry," so I started paying attention. I'm like, "Nah, that's pretty dumb too." But
Oh yeah.
man, having kids, that's a freaking fun journey.
Yeah, it's a whole different deal. Whole new ball game. Whole new rodeo.
Yeah, no joke. And you take him fishing and hunting.
Oh
he
yeah,
like
my
any
boy
of that?
loves to fish. He
Fish.
loves to fish. He hasn't been hunting yet, but he likes to fish.
He likes to fish.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
they
dude loves to fish.
I haven't taken any of them fishing or hunting. They're not quite old enough to go hunting, but when I, gut deer and skin,
Yeah.
go through that whole process, take it.
Oh yeah.
And especially my daughter, I'll never forget when my wife had shot a deer and then so then it was the first year she had watched Santa Claus. And we were watching Santa Claus and the reindeer went up and she's like, I want to shoot a reindeer. I want to kill a reindeer. I was like, all right, I guess I'll take you reindeer hunting one of these days.
Had to walk up out of the hole over, and mosquitoes were getting bad on me.
That's real bad too. There's nothing worse than freaking mosquitoes.
Oh, dude, never smoking me down there. I've been wiping them off my face, but
And it's worse too if you're not from where you're from and you go up there and you get a sunburn and you have mosquitoes. That's even worse.
I heard that.
I did
Are we
not
live?
properly hydrate last time.
No, are we live?
Yeah, we're
'Cause I
live.
gotta pee.
No, we're
Oh,
not live.
okay. I want to set you down for a second. I got to pee real quick.
All right, sounds good.
I
If
had to
you're
take a leak,
wondering what
dude.
kind of
I've been
coffee I'm
behind.
drinking, it's Rodeo Life coffee.
Rodeo what?
Rodeo Life coffee.
Rodeo life?
Yep, they have coffee. They have a bunch of stuff actually. It's really good coffee too.
I tried some of the Frontier coffee. I'm in on the Frontier Rodeo
Frontier.
coffee.
That first community is not bad either.
Oh,
That's
dude.
probably the best cheap. Like just if you're looking for cheaper coffee, it's not like super cheap, I guess, but it's.
I'm on a I like the breakfast blend on
Oh yeah,
Community.
yeah.
Yeah.
You like light beer too, so.
Yeah. Yeah. I do. I enjoy a good light beer.
Good light beer, a little bit of light coffee. Uh, You could have probably just, peed in a cup and drank it. It wouldn't have tasted much different.
I'm daring you with them. Especially like if you're a Keystone or a natural light guy.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, ain't that
Yeah.
the truth? Oh man. What are your plans for the rest of the year?
Dude, I've been thinking about pro rodeoing a little bit here the next couple of months. I think that's what I'm gonna finish out the year doing, trying to make finals. Figure if there's any time to do it, now's the time.
Now's the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
Good.
never bought my rodeo stuff. I think I may do it this year. I don't know the process, so I may just buy it and just like go to some, but not for
Yeah.
anything specifically. But there's a lot of
Well,
rodeos
I've been
around.
getting my butt kicked the last couple months over there, running around, going and traveling. I mean, in which I've been traveling. I've been having to buy plane tickets, and it's been so it's expensive to go to these PBRs because you're only there for a weekend. You know what I mean? And we're fixing to start up all these spring Texas rodeos. Around the
Especially if
house.
you're
And
flying. It's
yeah,
expensive.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm flying everywhere, and I'm like, shit, it's expensive. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, and try to get me a lit kit right here in the spring, and then take out on the summer run.
Yeah. Yeah, how many
Mm.
rodeos do you have to what's a cap? 'Cause you can only go to so many, right? That count
I thought
towards
it was
like the
like
NFR.
105 or 110 or something like that.
It's
I
quite
don't
a
know. I
bit
hadn't
still.
looked. Yeah.
Although, man, a lot of guys hit that early, don't they?
Do what?
A lot of guys hit that early.
Dog spade everywhere. Dude, these guys over here. Yes, Cowboy. They done got drunk. Yeah, but you hear them?
I hear him, yeah.
I wish I could show you. I don't know how to flip my camera around. You try to get him in the car. You try to get him in the car. Cause I'm evil.
What's up?
They're low lives right now.
Oh man.
They're they're on one.
How many times have they taken that into one of them trees?
Oh, dude. He run over a stop sign the other day. It's probably I'm incriminating him right now, but we couldn't get stopped. We have no brakes on the buggy. These guys are
Oh,
wild.
yeah. Man, that's funny. Well,
Yeah.
heck, it's freaking 3:51, and so I got a few things to do today. But man, I
Hey.
we'll do it again in person. We'll have a real good time.
Oh, dude, for sure. I enjoyed it, bud.
Heck yeah. All right.
I better get in here. I'll send you some Snapchat.
All right, definitely do it. I'll see you later,
All
man.
right. Talk to you later.